Don't forget to leave a like if you're stopping by, and if you're new to Geekdom 101, remember to subscribe and enable all notifications so that way you don't miss a single video. We discuss all things Dragon Ball here, movies, anime, manga, and even some video games. We've been here for 10 years and many more to come. I thank you for your continued support. Let's get to the video. After almost a full year, Toyotaro is back in the game as we have Dragon Ball Super Chapter Storyboard pre-release teases and teaser images once again. Just like how we had last year and the year before and the year before that on the official Dragon Ball website. This is, of course, the early unfinished draft pages of Dragon Ball Super's special chapter coming out next week, featuring some kind of clean God storyline with Goten and Trunks. So we're gonna go into this these pages that we got here on this video. Want to give you a quick reminder: the episodes, the Daima episode coming up this Friday. I'll have full coverage of that. I'll be doing a stream as well, and next week we'll be doing coverage of both this chapter and Daima. The chapter will be dropping on Wednesday/Thursday, depending on where you live. It all comes down to where you live. If you are in the, I guess, in the Western Hemisphere, it's going to be on Wednesday. If you're in Japan, it'll be on Thursday. So, or in the East. So, if you're like most of us, it'll be on Wednesday. So look forward to that in 1 week's time. And that's what this actually tells. The special one-shot chapter is coming out on Thursday, February 20th in Japan, which is the 19th everywhere else. And this is basically, again, a preview of things to come. It says here, the superhero arc, which began with a manga-exclusive prequel to the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, and took readers through the battle between the Warriors of Earth and the Red Ribbon Army, has reached its thrilling conclusion. That's, of course, that ended with Chapter 104 a year ago. 103. This time, the storyboard is for Chapter 104. So, this is officially Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 104. It's not being called anything else but Chapter 104, so I was wondering if they were just going to call it Dragon Ball Super Special or Dragon Ball Super One Shot, but this is officially Chapter 104. So it says here, featuring the adventures of Trunks and Goten in a prequel to the feature film. A prequel to the prequel. These two have been defending the fair town disguised as the Saiyaman, but why exactly did they decide to venture into superhero territory? Find out in this prequel to the prequel. So it takes place shortly before the Saiyaman 1, Saiyaman 2, X1, X2 stuff that they did a couple of years ago in the manga. It actually has been a couple of years now, y'all. It's kind of crazy how time flies, but there you go. So let's go ahead and check out the storyboard. Now, I want to make this clear. Now that we know for sure that this is Chapter 104, that means that we're probably going to find out in this edition of V-Jump what's next. We're probably gonna, and I can't guarantee it, but I'm hoping they actually tell us what the next full arc is. Not the one shot, not this. This is probably just gonna be a 1 month thing, and then we're done with it. And that's what they said, it's a one shot. So the chapters coming out after this one, that's what I'm curious about, because that's when the story's gonna move forward. Now, luckily for us, Herms has dropped the translation for the drafts. The special one-shot chapter is called Birth of Saiyaman X. He says, Earth faces a new threat, aliens hell-bent on dirtying up the planet so it'll be easy for them to live on. But a gold deck brush wielding hero comes to the rescue. So the clean God thing is, from my supposition, I'm guessing, is that even the right word, supposition? I'm assuming that the gimmick is that he's called Clean God because he actually is like a parody of like Captain Planet. Does anybody remember the old Captain Planet cartoon from the 90s that Ted Turner came up with to teach kids about like the environment and things of that nature? The kids had those rings and they would combine their powers to make Captain Planet. It seems like Clean God is literally a cleaner to clean up the world from these dirty aliens. So, as you can see right here, and I'm going to see if I can zoom this in as close as I can. It says Voom, and here we have the aliens coming to Earth. Now, this is clearly not really aliens. This is probably in the Clean God movie. This is kind of like how in The Simpsons, for example, they had like, and they had like the Radioactive Man comic that Bart and Milhouse and his friends all read, right? And then in real life, they put out a Radioactive Man comic, sort of like as a spinoff to The Simpsons. I have one of the issues. That's what this is kind of giving me vibes of, is that this is looking like it's going to be somewhat taking place, or at least not entirely, but maybe just some of this chapter taking place in the fictional world of Clean God. So it's like Trunks and Goten are going to watch the Clean God movie, right? And here in this next page, we see the landing. They get off the ship. This is, of course, ironic considering that Goku and the rest of the heroes of Earth have battled aliens going very far back in Dragon Ball, going back decades at this point, both in universe and in the real world. This is how a fictional superhero in the world of Dragon Ball does it. I mean, when you look at this, if you look at this sludge monster right here, like, it really is giving me Captain Planet vibes. And they're there to pollute the earth. So I think Toyotaro is probably going to have a good time with this, as far as he can really stretch his legs as a writer and come up with maybe his own like comic, like his own characters in his own world that isn't just playing in Toriyama's sandbox, right? I'm not saying that in a rude way or a disrespectful way. I'm saying Toyotaro's main gig right now is to write Dragon Ball, right? So with Clean God, maybe it's a chance for him to kind of create his own universe inside of Toriyama's universe. That's the way I'm seeing it. You know, it's kind of difficult to see what's going on, but it looks like Clean God here has a giant like mop. this is goofy. And as you can see, he whips it and hits this guy in the face with it. This is gonna pretty much be all comedy. Like, if you're looking for like the next big adventure of Goku, Vegeta, Broly, at the earliest that'll be next month. This could also be Toyotaro trying to put a cap on the superhero arc before continuing with whatever's next. So upon closer inspection, this is a brush. It's a giant brush though, and that is his main weapon. Let's hop over to Herms's translations here. He writes, that's right, it's Clean God here to stop the villainous dirty mud. This is all, of course, a movie Trunks and Goten are watching on TV. That's what I was talking about earlier. The narrator explains that this chapter is the story of how they became the Saiyaman X duo. So it's what inspired them to become Saiyaman. You would think that, you know, the fact that Goten's older brother Gohan was the original Great Saiyaman, you would think that would be, you know, enough, but apparently not. Apparently, it's really a TV show that inspired them. Goes on to say, Clean God's Aqua Wash attack cleans the hearts of Dirty Max's henchmen, converting them into cleanliness-loving goody two-shoes. Oh, so basically they become Danny Tanner from Full House. Okay. But Dirty Mud blasts Clean God with the wicked stench cannon, whose gas saps his stamina and motivation. He's losing his clean power. Yeah, this is gonna be goofy, bro. Like, I wasn't expecting anything from this to be like the next big story arc. What's up with Black Frieza? Will Broly control his anger? Will Vegeta master Ultra Ego? All these questions that I think the fandom wants to know about. Will we ever go back to the Demon Realm after Daima? Like, these are all things that people really want to see. You're probably not going to get that with this chapter. I'm still going to cover it, you know, but you're probably not going to get those questions answered until the next big arc, the next actual arc begins, which I'm waiting to see if V-Jump says anything about it in the coming days, because V-Jump leaks are coming probably this weekend, if not early next week. So we'll probably know if there's an announcement in the magazine. I'll probably have a video ready for you sometime this weekend about it. It all depends on, when they get that, when the leaks come out. And this right here in the middle is a clean shot, no pun intended, of Clean God popping out of the manga panel. I really like this. I think Toyotaro and Toriyama even criticized him for this years ago. I think he needs to do more dynamic paneling like this, where he's got characters popping out of the panels and, more of like how Toriyama would do it. I know a lot of like manga purists have criticized Toyotaro for not really being so adventurous, without really stretching out his imagination, so to speak. And it seems like maybe this time off has really given him a chance to, come back full speed ahead. I hope so, because we haven't heard much from Toyotaro. There was the one interview, and that was it. He hasn't given us any clues about where he wants to take the story. Like, there's been very quiet over there. And I think people would appreciate just the, him getting better in this time. Now, here's the thing, too. For all intents and purposes, this manga chapter, this Clean God thing may have been finished for... He might have got this done last summer. Like, we don't know until they say something. I'm hoping that Toyotaro, if he is writing the next arc of Super to go take place after this, I really am hoping that he's already got the story laid out. That way it's not one of those, oh my God, I've got a month to get this done. You know what I mean? It's always good to plan these things, so I certainly hope so. Now, I notice right here it says DB number 104, so that's officially from the desk of Toyotaro chapter 104, and this is the actual, like, sort of, not the start of the chapter, but this is where we're going to have the Dragon Ball Super logo and everything. And then, as you can see here, it is Goten and Trunks watching the Clean God movie. And it's clear to see, it's very... Trunks' haircut, like, nobody in Dragon Ball has hair like that. Yes, Gogo Akman does, another Toriyama character, but that's not really him. Let me actually get to Herms' translations for that part. Back in the real world, Clean God TV show is interrupted by news of an upcoming Clean God live-action film. That's the Clean God movie they want to see in the superhero chapter. Remember, Trunks wanted to take Mai out to that movie. Goten is looking forward to it since he thinks Clean God is cool, while Trunks finds him old-fashioned with his mask and wearing his underwear on the outside. Which... hey, it's almost like Quail Man. If anybody watched Doug as a kid, whether it be on Disney or Nickelodeon, you know what I'm talking about when I say Quail Man. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you give a damn about Clean God or any of this? Does it matter to you? And if it doesn't, are you going to read the chapter anyways just because, some people just like Dragon Ball, and even if they don't care about the current stuff, they'll still keep up with it? Or are you going to just talk to me about it? Either way is cool. I will see you guys later this week. Take care.